All right, we're going to go over the first part of the magazine layout exercise. So we have a blank template. I've got 3 blank pages. I'm going to be starting my article on page 3. And the first thing I'm going to do is just call this layer text. And I'm going to go ahead and create another layer called images, which I'll use later. But for now, I'm going to be in my text layer. And just to practice, I'm going to lock my images layer so that I know which layer I'm in. So I'm going to go text, and the first thing I'm going to do is put text on the pages. So I'm going to go File, Place, and I'm going to place text from a Word document. And I have 2 ways of placing text. So when I hit place, my cursor changes to my text placement cursor. And if I click in a column right now, it's going to fill that column, and then I have to come to the red plus, fill another column, and do that over and over again. So a better way to do that in this instance is when I have my text cursor, I'm going to hold down Shift, and it gives me a little squiggly arrow there. And now when I click, it's going to fill all my columns, and it's also going to create as many pages as it needs for my article. So I like that. So the next thing I want to do is apply my text styles, my paragraph styles. So I'm going to click into my article. So I'm double clicking on my column. That gives me my text cursor so I can select. And I'm going to click Apple Alt A or Control A to select everything. And then I'm going to come to my paragraph styles, and I'm going to say this is all article body, which is just my basic style. And now I'm going to start filling in some other styles. So this is my headline. So that's going to be article head. This is going to be article deck. This is going to be byline. I don't even have to select the whole paragraph. I just have to click into the paragraph because paragraph styles apply to the entire paragraph that I've clicked on. Now we have some special styles that we're going to apply. We're going to apply something to the first paragraph of each section, and I have those marked with a pound sign and some underlining. So I'm going to ununderline this. I'm going to come here and I'm going to say article section start. And I applied that to the whole paragraph, but all it does is change the first line so that readers can skim and find that. So I'm not going to find all of these, but you would go back through the article and find all of those pound signs, change all of your section starts. We also have pull quotes, so I'm going to change those right now. Those start with the carets. So I'm just going to come here, delete my carets, and then tell it that this paragraph is pull quote. And this is the pull quote caption, right? And you'll notice that these, oh, I got the wrong one. This is pull quote attribution. Okay. You'll notice that these paragraph styles have spacing applied to them so that my pull quotes always have consistent spacing and look nice, and I'm not setting that by hand every time. Okay, so I would go through, I would find all my pull quotes in my article. And the next thing I want to do is I want to insert my images. So when I want to insert an image, I'm going to get my frame tool. And I want my top image for this article to take up this whole space down to this guide. So I'm going to drag a frame over that. And I actually just realized I'm doing something wrong. So I'm going to delete that frame. And I want all my images in their own layer. So I'm going to lock my text layer. I'm going to unlock my images layer. Click on my images layer, and now I can get my frame tool and drag my frame, and then file, place, get the image I want, place it, and figure out what frame fitting I want. For this one, I want the image to fill the entire frame. Okay, so I'm going to choose the first one, and now I'm going to text wrap because right now my text is behind my image. So I'm going to turn on text wrap, and then I'm going to add some space underneath. All right, to bump it off. Let's insert one more image. So I have here that I figure one goes somewhere around here. Okay, so I'm going to place that image, and I think I'm going to have it take up these first 2 columns. So I'm going to repeat my process. I'm going to get my frame tool. I'm going to say this is roughly where I want that image to be. And then I'm going to come File, Place, Figure 1. And then I'm going to fit it into the frame. And after that, I'm going to text wrap and tell it how much spacing I want around it. So these images have captions. So to add a caption, what I'm going to do is I'm still in my images layer, And I'm going to drag a text box where I want that caption to be. And we'll say that for now. And then I gave you captions. I'm just going to type a little bit of nonsense for right now. And I'm going to apply my caption style to it. And then I'm going to text wrap it. So because this is a text box, I don't have text wrap right here, but I always have it right here if I'm on my typography setup. So I'm going to do a rectangular text wrap there. And then I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see better. Okay, so right now my text box goes down to here. And what I would like is for there always to be the same spacing underneath my captions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my text box so it just captures my text right here. And then I'm going to let that spacing happen through my, my text wrap padding there. So that way I know that there's always exactly 0.25 inches of text or of space after my, my caption. So let's look at one more. So figure 2 goes around here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drag a box and then I'm going to place figure 2 into it. And what I want to look at is if I choose that first one right here, you'll see my image goes outside the box, right? So it's not a great choice. And if I choose the second one, it's okay, but I have a lot of white space around it. So let's go ahead and put our text wrap on it so that we can see. And this is fine, but the image is maybe a little small. Maybe I don't like this white space around it. So what I need to think about is I'm just going to make my frame bigger because that image is kind of vertical. And if I want it to fit in that frame using that second frame fitting option, I want my frame to be a little bit vertical too. So now that looks nice. I would put my caption under it. I would finish up my figures. And that is the first part of that assignment.